So, the Golden Globes have come and gone, and in this video, we're going to talk about the winners, the losers, and what this means for the Oscars. Welcome back to another episode of Movies Good, Internet Bad. I'm Cory, that's Shane. And Shane, let's dive right into this thing, shall we? The
Absolutely.
Golden Globes. Do they matter?
No.
That's it. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Enjoy this, or whatever. So the Golden Globes, they're interesting because they're this big event where everybody just gets together and gets hammered, and they give out some awards for whatever reasons. It might be a little bit of an indicator as to what the Academy Awards are going to bring in a couple months,
Yeah.
Which is why we're talking about it today. We're going to dive through all the categories of the movie awards. We're going to save TV for maybe another video. So let's get started. Shane, we have the best original song for a motion picture, and that went to El Mal from Emilia Perez, which beat songs the likes of Compress Repress from Challengers, Kiss the Sky from The Wild Robot, Mi Camino, which was also from Emilia Perez. There was a handful of Emilia Perez last night, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
I have not seen it, so I'm going to defer that to you because I know you saw it at the film festival. And so I've seen a lot of people upset that it's winning a ton of awards. And so what did you think of the movie? Do you think that these people are off base, etc.?
I I think that we're at an interesting point because this is a movie that ran the film festival circuit,
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of people got to see it on the big screen with a big crowd, with the stars in attendance and whatnot. Everybody else watched it on Netflix in their
Yeah.
houses on a television, so it's a very different dynamic. There's also a large handful of people that are saying that it's a disrespectful movie to the Mexican community because
Mm-hmm.
it's made by a French director that didn't do a lot of research with some actors who didn't speak the best Spanish or whatever. I'm no authority on that. I don't know. I enjoyed the movie quite a bit when I saw it in the film festival. I will admit there was a certain energy in the room when we saw it like that. So, however, I'm not surprised that from a music standpoint, it's going to win some awards. It is a musical in disguise as a
Mm-hmm.
crime film.
Yeah.
Uh, so honestly, kind of surprised that nothing from Wicked was even on this
I
list.
was going to say that next
So
is like, I'm surprised that Wicked didn't win a bunch of musical awards, and this one did, even though Wicked is much more of a musical, or at least outwardly a musical.
yeah, it will be interesting to see because again, the Globes, the nominations sometimes don't always line up with what the Oscars will bring. I would be hard pressed to imagine that Defying Gravity wouldn't be nominated
Yeah,
for a song for the
yeah,
Oscars,
but
but
is it
uh,
even? Can it even be eligible?
oh, because it's not original and
Right.
it's a maybe
I don't
that
know.
that could be the reason why it's not here. So but yeah, Amelia Perez took the award there. Moving on to the other music category was best original score for
Good.
a motion picture, and this one had nominees the likes of Hans Zimmer for Dune, The Wild Robot, The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez. But the winners were Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross from
Absolutely.
Challengers.
Yeah,
Uh,
I love this score. It's so good.
yeah, you saw the video of Elton John
Yes, I did.
getting really excited when it won. I thought that was pretty cool. Challengers has a great score.
Yeah.
I rewatched it last week, and I was actually, since it was my second time seeing it, paying attention to a lot more things than just the story, like you do the first time you watch a movie, and the way that the score hits in certain scenes,
Yeah.
it propels that entire film in a way that I didn't quite realize the first time. Um, I know some people are put off to it because it's not a traditional orchestral score, perhaps, and it's more
That's
of a
even more
house club kind of
reason
thing.
for it
But
to win, though, right? Is that it's not your typical type of score. Like he's
not at
doing
all.
like an EDM, or both of them are doing an EDM score, and it's great, and it still works perfectly, especially in the context of that movie.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see. I don't know if the Academy will give it love because the Academy tends to go a little bit more on the traditional side of
Yeah.
things. But at the same time, Dune Part Two is excluded because it contains a certain percentage of the music that's too similar to the last movie. So maybe it might be able to sneak in there. But won the Golden Globe. Reznor and Ross, love those guys. Love Nine Inch Nails. So very cool. Moving on to best screenplay for a motion picture. The nominees here were The Substance, A Real Pain, The Brutalist, Anora, Emilia Perez, and the winner, which went to Conclave. What are your thoughts on that?
I think this one's hard because they don't distinguish between adapted and original
Mm-hmm.
screenplay at the Golden
Yep.
Globes. And so Conclave, as tight of a script as I thought it was, is based off of a book that is almost identical to the movie. And so it's hard to compare the two because I, tend to favor like the originality of screenplays in a category against each other, but it's not to say this isn't a good script because it is a great script. I thought it moved very fast. A lot of the dialogue was, very like economical.
Yeah.
And especially the way that this movie introduces its characters is so great because it in a movie like this with a bunch of names that you're not familiar with, it is constantly repeating the names intentionally,
Yeah.
and it gets you like into that. So many scripts fail at this; it is crazy. Where you get 3/4 of the way, maybe not 3/4 of the way, like a quarter of the way through the movie, and you're like, oh, "Who's that character again? Who's this one
Hmm.
again?" And it does such a good job of introducing all those characters, giving their worldview right away, so that you can start to take sides, and then it kind of snowballs from there. Great script, great movie. I mean, in our
Yeah.
top of 2024, I think I put it as what, three?
Yeah.
I think I
Yeah.
put
We,
it
we both
three.
had it on our list.
Yeah,
So
I thought it was awesome.
um, very, very well deserved. It will be interesting to see when the Oscars roll around and they split that, and
Yes.
it's five nominees for
Yeah.
original and
Yeah.
adapted, where the chips will fall, but perhaps a hint at where Conclave will land. So, moving on, the next category was Best Director for Motion Picture. Unlike the Oscars, where they only do five nominees, they did six for this one at the Golden Globes. It was Payal Kapida from All We Imagine Is Light, Coralie Farge from The Substance, Edward Berger for Conclave, Sean Baker for Anora, Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez, and the eventual winner was Brady Corbett for The Brutalist. I know you're seeing this
On
movie
Saturday. Yeah.
soon this
Yeah. This
weekend. Yeah.
weekend.
So I guess we'll have to defer to me for this one again. This movie rules, and I'm really excited that Brady Corbett won. I personally think the director race at the Oscars is a two-horse race between him and Sean Baker.
Yeah.
We'll see. Also, no Denny Villeneuve here on the nominees. I mean, come on,
Sci-fi does not get enough credit for
yeah,
direction or really anything because I think that was one of the most well-crafted movies of the year, and it got like zero credit for it. So I was
yeah,
pretty disappointed there. But I haven't seen The Brutalist. I've heard nothing but good things. Of course, you are very high on it, so I'm excited
yeah.
to see it.
Yeah, just make sure to have yourself a good bathroom break before it gets started,
Yeah.
and then if you have the intermission, make full use of that because it's definitely a long watch. So, moving on into best performance by a male actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. So this is important because the Golden Globes, they do comedy, musical,
Yeah.
and then they do drama. But I guess for supporting actor and actress, it's just any movie. So nominees here were Denzel Washington for Gladiator 2, Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, Yura Borisov for Honora, and the winner, who was Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. Have you gotten the chance to
I
check
haven't
this one
seen
out
it
yet?
yet, but I have seen his speech, and it's great as always. But I think the funniest thing is that Kieran Culkin keeps beating Jeremy Strong in
Yes.
awards categories,
Yeah.
and it's
Both
the
in TV and
ultimate.
in movies now,
Yeah,
right?
it is the
Yeah.
ultimate rendition of their characters from Succession. That Kieran would
Mhm.
win all the awards, and Jeremy would not. And although
Well,
Jeremy, did you see his costume?
I was gonna say he won best dressed
Yes,
for the entire evening
he went
with
with
that big
chic
bucket hat
Paddington.
and oh yeah, it was certainly interesting. But Kieran Culkin's great in A Real Pain. I think it's on Hulu now.
Okay, cool. I'll
If
check it out
if
then.
you haven't seen it, I think it's still playing in some theaters, but it's kind of starting to end its run there. So
I'm doing
really
a
great movie.
I always do a catch up before the Oscars, and I'm sure this
Yeah.
will be nominated for several things, so I'll see it. But I'm also trying something like what you did last year, with seeing 200 movies in a year. I don't know if I'll get to
Ugh,
200, but my lower goal
you're
is
gonna
150,
you're gonna hate yourself by the end of it. Trust
probably.
me. And you're gonna hate movies,
I
and you're
got to
gonna
get
wonder why
ahead
you're
of it
still
so that
talking
by
about
the
them on
end,
the
I'm
internet.
like, oh, I got like 14 days to get two more movies or something.
Yeah, good luck with that. We'll see how it goes in December. Best performance by a female actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. We had Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, Margaret Qualley for The Substance, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Selena Gomez for Emilia Perez, and the winner, Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. I'm not shocked that this was the win here. I would argue that Zoe, you haven't seen this movie, I don't
No,
think. Right?
we
Emily
just
Perez,
yeah
yeah. We just talked about
yeah.
that. I have a goldfish memory. It's fine. She's basically the main character of this movie.
Got
I
it.
don't
Why
really
it's
understand
supporting?
why she's in supporting,
Mm,
but because of that, she's got a lot of screen time,
got
and
it.
it might be easy for her to clean up there. I do think though that once we get towards the Oscars, they I feel like Ariana Grande has a real chance
Yeah,
for her
I
performance.
thought she
She
was
was far better than I thought she was going to be
yeah, she
in
was
Wicked. So
excellent in Wicked. Again, I haven't seen Emilia Perez, but yeah, you get into those politics of is this supporting versus, uh, you know, and there's even like, wasn't it Barbie that was like original screenplay versus adapted screenplay and
yeah,
all
so
of that.
stupid.
There's so many politics that go around it with what should be in what category, and a lot of it has to do with like what gives me the best chance of winning. So I'm guessing that
Mhm.
they put her as supporting because it's like, oh, she's not going to win, lead, but she can probably win supporting. So we'll put her as supporting. But it's almost like when the bear cleans up for comedy. It's like, bear's not a comedy. Like, come on.
Not fair, man. It's a
Yeah.
handicap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough category though, man. There's a lot of good performances in
Yeah.
there. I mean, the two ladies from Emilia Perez are good. Ariana Grande was good. Felicity Jones is great in Brutalist. Margaret Qualley is awesome in The Substance. If you can stomach a movie like that, and then Isabella, she's like the anchor of Conclave. Playing that nun. So
That is like the ultimate contrast to Zoe Saldana, right? Because she's in the movie for like 3 scenes and she kills it, but she's barely in
an
the movie.
actual supporting
Yes, exactly,
performance,
right?
you might say, Shane.
They need to put like a screen time limit, like they do for uh, the original score with the percentage. They need to put like a screen time limit on
Yeah,
supporting actors, something like that. I don't know.
and then do like a best cameo
Yeah.
award, and then you can just give it to Marvel for every
It's
character that
Harry
shows up for
Styles.
12 seconds. It's Blade, it's Elektra, it's Channing Tatum as a character that he never played before, but he's playing now. All right. Anyway, best performance by a male actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. So we're in the split categories
Yep.
now. We're musical or comedy. The nominees were Glenn Powell for Hitman, Jesse Plemons for Kinds of Kindness, Gabriel LaBelle for Saturday Night, Hugh Grant for Heretic, Jesse Eisenberg for A Real Pain, and the winner, which was a little bit of a surprise for me, was Sebastian Stan for A Different Man. Uh, I haven't seen this movie yet. I don't think you have
I haven't
either,
either,
but it,
but
it does hit HBO Max, I think, middle of this month, which is when I intend to check it out. But just how cool, man, to see a guy who, like, he was stuck in Marvel Land for
yep.
like a decade,
Yep.
right? And now he's out. He was nominated for The Apprentice and for this.
Yep.
Got a win. Gave a great speech. Got to make his dumb jokes with Anthony Mackie. To me, that's a win
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah. Any former Marvel actors that go on to win things, it always makes me happy.
Yeah. How good was it for you when Downey won the Oscar
Oh, it
last
was
year
great. And then they put
for
him right back
Oppenheimer?
in Marvel. It's like, come on.
It's The Godfather Part 3, right?
Uh,
I think I'm out and they pull me right back in. Um, Shout out to Glenn Powell though. I love Hitman.
yeah,
Hitman is an absolutely great
it
movie.
is great.
I've watched that like probably 5 or 6 times just because I throw it on like in the background when I have nothing else going on, and it makes me laugh every time. So, all right, moving on to best performance by a female actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. We had Zendaya for Challengers, Mikey Madison for Anora, Carla Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez, Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Amy Adams for Night Bitch, and the winner, Demi Moore for The Substance. Could you believe that a body horror has produced
Yeah,
a Best Actress award at the Golden Globes?
yeah, I think that's pretty, especially because it's up against Mikey Madison, right? Like she's the
Yeah,
favorite to win. I think the favorite to win at the Oscars, and so this was a bit of a surprise. But
yeah,
horror at least is getting a little bit more recognition recently. I think we talked in the Nosferatu review about how horror almost never gets recognition for performance, and so
Yep.
it's good that this one, and it's not like straight horror, but you know, it's good to see that type of a performance get rewarded, even if it was beating Mikey Madison, who I thought was the best performance of the
Yeah.
year.
You figure that would be a lock for
Yeah,
Mikey, but
yeah.
we'll talk about that in a few minutes once we're done with the rest of the awards too, because Anora is an interesting story
Mm-hmm.
there. So, moving into best performance by a male actor in a motion picture drama, we have the aforementioned Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice, Ray Fiennes for Conclave, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Daniel Craig for Queer, Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, and the winner, which was Adrian Brody for The Brutalist. Uh, Again, not a shock
Yeah,
in any way. I think Adrian Brody's the runaway for the Oscar for this one. So,
yeah. I've
how
heard
do you feel about
I've
that?
heard as much. I can't really say anything because I haven't seen the movie, but all the stuff I'm hearing about that performance makes me think that this is well deserved.
Yeah, kind of feels like Cillian Murphy last year
Yeah,
from Oppenheimer. It's a 3 hour plus movie
yeah.
with a very strong, like, Adrian is in 85% of the movie, I think,
Got it.
if I had to go back and look. So, not a shock there. And then moving into best performance by a female actor in a motion picture drama, we had Kate Winslet for Lee, Tilda Swinton for The Room Next Door, Nicole Kidman for Baby Girl, Angelina Jolie for Maria, Pamela Anderson for The Last Showgirl, and we had the winner, Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. I have not seen a single one of these movies. Have you?
Reread the list again.
Lee, The Room Next Door,
No,
Baby Girl, Maria,
nope.
The Last Showgirl, and I'm Still Here.
Nope. I haven't seen a single one.
In that wild? Like,
We're
I've seen
terrible.
most of the movies in all the other
Yeah,
categories, but I have not seen any of these. So,
we're very bad
I can't really
cinephiles.
speak to it. I've heard great things about Nicole Kidman in Baby Girl.
Yep.
I actually intend to see that probably this week or next. Uh, Angelina Jolie and Maria, you can see that on Netflix right now, if you're interested. But congrats to Fernanda Torres. Good for her. Perhaps we should check that movie
We
out
should.
before the Oscars get here. All right, and then we're moving on to the last couple categories here. So we've got Best Motion Picture, Non-English Language. The nominees were Vermiglio, The Seed of the Sacred Fig, I'm Still Here, The Girl with the Needle, All We Imagine Is Light, and the winner, not a shock, was Emilia Perez here. I think that one is kind of like the Anatomy of a Fall of this
Yeah,
year,
yeah. It's a good.
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
The non-English speaking movie that has kind of broken into the Best Picture race,
right.
but isn't quite good enough to win there, so it's gonna get that one.
Yeah.
Kind of seems like where we're going there. Oh, how could I forget the Cinematic and Box Office Achievement Award, Shane? This is the most important one of the entire Golden Globes. The nominees: The Wild Robot, Twisters, Inside Out 2, Gladiator 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, Beetlejuice, Alien Romulus, and the winner, Wicked Part 1.
I don't know what this award is for. Like,
Cinematic and Box Office Achievement, Shane.
but like, it wasn't the highest grossing movie of the year.
Nope.
So is it like you average the two, like box office and cinematic achievement? What is the ratio
Uh,
of box
I
office to cinematic achievement?
I have absolutely no idea.
This
I
is
couldn't
the
tell
we
you.
need to give Barbie an award, so we're going to give Wicked an award this year. Award?
Maybe. I mean, to me, if you're talking about box office achievement, all the money that you made
it's
is the
it's the Mad
award.
Men meme. That's what the
You
money's for.
you've you've won the game. You made all the money. But
Yeah,
hey, congrats to Wicked
this is their like
for winning that one.
what was it last year with Barbie, where everyone was saying, since this made so much money, it's clearly the best movie, that type of thing, and
Right.
because this is a new award for this year, right? Or was it last year too? And so
No, I think it's new for this year.
I think that they like added this as a like throw those people a bone who complain that like the award shows don't cater to everyday people.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
the
yeah,
Flash in Zack Snyder's Justice
yeah,
League,
yeah.
the fan moment of the
Enter
year,
the
whatever.
Flash Zone
Enter the Speed
Speed
Force.
Force. That's it.
Well, congrats to Wicked for that one. All right, so final three. Best Motion Picture Animated. The nominees were The Wild Robot, Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul, Moana 2, Memoir of a Snail, Inside Out 2, and the surprise winner here,
Yeah.
Flow.
Yeah.
I have not seen Flow. I've heard it's very good. I was expecting The Wild Robot to win. Wow.
So I haven't seen it either. I've heard great things. I think it's a silent film, actually. I don't think there's any
Oh, is it
dialogue
really?
in it. Yeah.
Okay.
But I've seen the preview for it and it looks beautiful and I've heard good things about it. So I'd like to see it.
I know it's about a cat.
Yes. Yeah.
And I have two
You
cats,
do.
so I feel like I would like it just by proxy. And I saw something about how it was like really low budget,
Hmm.
which typically for animation, that's not the easiest thing to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Like almost all the movies that get on that list have a pretty high budget just because of the nature of the beast. So uh, great for a non Disney, DreamWorks, Pixar movie to
I can guarantee they were not
win an award there.
expecting to win. So it's always good when stuff like that happens. It's like when Moonlight won Best Picture and they went
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Do you think that changes the potential for the Oscar for Best Animated Picture?
I
Or do you think Wild
doubt
Robot
it.
still has that?
I think the Oscars are still a little bit more mainstream, and so I
Okay,
think that's probably going to go Wild Robot. I think,
all right.
but maybe this gives it enough momentum that enough voters see it, and then they think that it's worthy too. Because the voting hasn't concluded yet for the Oscars, or even began. I don't think.
Yeah, the nominations aren't for another couple
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
So yeah,
But right now, I think it's just voting for the nominees, right? Like to get it on
yeah.
the list.
And hey, maybe Flo will scratch, claw, hiss, and meow its way into an Oscar
I think so.
nomination. So down to the final two, we've got Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. The nominees were Wicked, The Substance, A Real Pain, Challengers, Anora, and the winner was Emilia Perez. So Emilia Perez completely cleaned up
Yeah.
at the Golden Globes. Do you think that's a repeat at the Oscars or what?
I'm not sure because this one, it kind of like it's been sticking around in a lot of the awards season, but I don't think anyone expected it to win as much as it did at the Golden Globes, and so maybe there's a voting block that would push it in the Oscars. I have seen a lot of people really upset that it won so many awards, and so I'm interested to see how that dynamic plays out for the
Yeah.
next month or two. But we'll see. What do you think? I mean, you've seen the movie. I haven't seen the movie. I can't really speak to it. I've seen clips that people make fun of on Twitter, and they're out of context. And
I mean, so we're looking at there's 6 movies here. I would say that at least 3 of those are better
okay,
than Emilia Perez. So Anora not beating Emilia Perez is crazy to me.
yeah,
I thought A Real Pain was better than Emilia Perez. I thought The Substance was better than Emilia Perez, but Substance is also not a musical or
right,
comedy. I
yeah,
have no idea why the
yeah.
hell that is in that
Maybe
category.
comedy because there's a little bit of levity there.
Maybe. I don't think Challengers was a real contender here. That kind of felt like a throw me a bone Best Picture
For me,
thing.
it's a contender.
I know
Yeah,
I'm insulting you as I say this, but award speaking
yes,
wise, I don't think that it really ever had a
no,
chance.
no, it didn't.
But I guess we'll see if this has any bearing on the Oscar nominations or where things go. Um, and then we got the last one of the evening, which is Best Motion Picture Drama. So the nominees were September 5, Nickel Boys, Dune Part 2, Conclave, A Complete Unknown, and the winner, no surprises here, was The Brutalist. So the real story here at the end of the day is The Brutalist cleaned up
Yeah,
and Emilia Perez cleaned up.
yeah,
So I would say that those guys were the 2 big winners of the evening. The biggest loser though has got to be
it
Anora.
has to be.
That's a movie that for months now people have been saying it's going to win everything. It's going to clean up. It's best movie of the year. Blah, blah, blah. And I agree with a lot of those comments. I think it is one of the best movies of the year for sure. But very interesting to see a lot of the voters here not going for it. Do you think that's is it too much with the adult nature and the sexual ideas behind it, or what are we talking about here?
I'm not sure. I think part of it could be that this movie has an interesting tone where it's almost like a slapstick comedy for a
Okay,
large
sure.
percentage of it. So maybe that was kind of a reason why it wasn't hitting in terms of like best whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. A lot of times too, you get like I think the narrative we're going to get out of this going into Oscar season is probably The Brutalist is the favorite to win
Hmm.
Best Picture. I think Anora is fading late, and that's not when you want to fade.
Right.
Clearly, here, like it didn't win a single award, even the one that it was probably the most favored to win, which was Mikey Madison, right?
Right. Right.
Uh, she could still win at the Oscars, but I think that like it's just not coming together for them. But again, it's the Golden Globes. There's been a lot of Golden Globes, like Avatar won Best Picture at the Golden Globes. So
Oh, did it really?
yeah, yeah. So
And then it lost to the Hurt
Hurt
Locker,
Locker, yeah.
which is crazy. Yeah.
So I don't know. There's still a month to go. There's still a month for like momentum to pick up for certain things, but it kind of feels like The Brutalist is going to get that momentum because it just won some awards here at the Golden Globes. It's going to
Yep.
release wide like soon this month.
Hmm.
So a lot of
Yep.
people are going to see it and then talk about it, and then it's just going to snowball into award season. And for all the complaining that people did with A24 about, why can't I see the movie? Uh it feels like they might have timed it perfectly.
Yeah. It's possible for sure. It's hitting its stride at what feels like the right time.
Mhm.
My biggest concern with The Brutalist was that a lot of people are going to be turned off by just the runtime. But I guess when it comes to people that vote for these awards, they're all movie people. They get
Yeah.
sent a screener,
Yeah.
so a lot of them can watch it from home
Yeah.
and take their bathroom breaks whenever they need to or whatever. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, we'll see. It's certainly an interesting. It's definitely not a crystal ball because
No.
there have been plenty of times that the Golden Globes have gone one way and the Oscars have gone another. But this is kind of like it's like in the regular season of the NFL when the two juggernauts play against each other and
Yep.
one of them wins and you're like, oh, they got it. If they meet in the Super Bowl,
Yep.
it's over. And then it turns out to go the other way. So,
Yep.
any final thoughts on the Golden Globes before we wrap this up and not talk about them for another year?
Uh, it feels like every year the Golden Globes get less and less relevant, and I used to care, and it used to be like 1A, 1B with the Oscars and Golden
Yeah,
Globes,
yeah, yeah.
and now it's just like we're just gonna throw them out here. Like, what was it? They were streamed or something, or not even
Yeah,
televised
I
a
think
couple
they're
years
on
ago.
Paramount Plus or something
Yeah.
like that. It's crazy. The
Yeah.
times they are changing
Yeah.
for sure. Cool. Well, that's going to wrap things up for this video. If you got any thoughts on the Golden Globes, any of the winners, any of the losers, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you liked what we did. And if you just like movies in general, just tap that little like button. It's not very hard. Just do it. Go ahead right now. It's free. It's easy. It helps us. Thank you. We're going to be back later this week breaking down as many of the releases of 2025 as we can, as well as how we feel about them and what we're most anticipating for the year. So stay tuned for that and so much more, and we will see you guys in the next video.